some schools have wrapped up their spring football, and then some will do it this week, and it can trickle a little bit. And there's one of the great friends of our show, Kalani Sitake, head coach at BYU, with Paul Craig and David Spoke. Hello, great to see you. How you doing, Coach?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
We're doing really, really well. So you have already wrapped yours up. It's been, a couple of weeks since you've done that. And so there's always that checklist of, do you get everything done? We had, I think it was Lance Leipold said this one time, that it's almost like when you ask a coach on National Signing Day, did you get everybody you wanted? And they always say yes, even if there's probably a couple that got away. But with what you needed to do, what did you accomplish that you had to accomplish, and what are a couple of things you're still not sure about?
Well, I think for the most part, our offense, defense, special teams, we got enough work. Obviously, you know that you're going to use summer conditioning and the fall camp to get everything ironed out. But I did like all the competition that we saw from our players, the returning players, the guys that know the plays, and we were able to do a few things in scheme with the offense and defense. But when it comes down to it, spring was always freshen up and get better at the fundamentals, all the little things of the game, the details, increase our football IQ and work better in situational football. So we were able to get that done and focus on that. I was really proud of the team. We had a physical spring, and most of the team were pretty much healthy the entire time, except for maybe a couple injuries. But that happens when you play this violent sport. But overall, I was really pleased with the progress that we made.
Coach, teams change from year to year, but does momentum actually carry over? Is that something that media and fans kind of hype up of, hey, they won 9 games last year. They have a bunch of guys coming back. They should be able to do this. That's an inexact science, right? But how much of that can carry over in your mind?
Well, I think the motivation, the drive from the team has got to be the key. And a lot of that's the players and them leading the way. But it's also the mindset of never being satisfied. The guys have accomplished a tremendous amount last year, but that was last year. This is a new time, and I see the hunger in the players and but it's going to take a strong amount of humility and for us to stay hungry. And that's the guys have moved on. Last year seems so far away now. We can build on some of the cool things that we were able to do, but more than anything, it's the experience of these young men that had some new opportunities. And we're able to be given that time to play. They can have a lot of confidence knowing that they've done it before. But everyone's starting off brand new, so we've got to get back to work. We although I'm pleased with what we did in spring football, there's still a lot of work to accomplish, and we're trying to get that done in the next little bit.
What is the difference this year? In spring last year, you didn't know who the quarterback was going to be. You had a battle. This year, like you said, it's about getting better in the fundamentals. When you can do that and say, okay, we know that Jake's the starter, we can have the young guys work on their stuff and Jake can work on his stuff. Does that change the dynamic of practice, and that you can have more of a straight line to practice 1 to practice 15?
I think everybody's always competing, and it feels better when you know your quarterback that started all year last year is back. There's just him being familiar with everything. There's not a lot of new teaching for him, and we can focus on teaching the new guys that are new to the program and new to the system. And so with that being said, focusing on the depth at quarterback and focusing on the depth in other positions, and then focusing on the competition. Having Jake back has been huge for us, but we want him to make improvements too. And so we issued a challenge for him to get that much better in spring, and I felt like he did that, and everybody has their individual goals of how much they want to get better and how much they want to accomplish. That's within reason, and that's realistic. And they were, I would say a lot of the guys met their individual goals, Jake being one of them. So that's a good sign.
Kalani, you know what the way it is in college sports right now, and there's been a lot of stuff out there about the portal that wraps up this week. You've had a couple of guys enter. It's part of the business. You've also had some that you've been able to get to come to BYU. How do you handle it when somebody says they're going to enter the portal? Do they tell you that? You learn about it, and do you keep up with trying to at least get in their mind of what they're thinking?
Yeah, I don't know if it's just a one way to do it. I think we've had everything's so it's such an individual by individual case, and so the first thing I do as a head coach is I thank them for what they've done for our program and appreciate them and show them the love that they deserve. And I'm always going to cheer for them. I want them to do what's best for them. I feel like we have all the resources and everything here that you need to be at your best. And if it doesn't match up with what they're expecting, then that's okay. That's part of what college football is nowadays. I can work with the guys that want to be here. You know what I mean? And we went and got depth and worked on getting depth as a team so that we can prepare for something like this to happen. But I think the key for us is for me is to show appreciation and gratitude to those that came here and did that. I mean, they're part of our family, and I'll cheer and hope for the best for them. It's just a lot easier for me to cheer and do that when they're on my sideline. But I always want what's best for them, except for when we play them. You know, that one time, if that happens. But they were here. They put a lot of energy and sacrificed quite a bit to be here in this program, and I want them to know how much I appreciate them and love them.
Would you ever put a date ultimatum on if they're in the portal, when they're allowed to, or if you would allow them to come back, or is that kind of, again, flexible based on the case?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different reasons for guys going into the portal. Most of the conversations that I have are guys that want to just be on the field more. And I can understand that. I think the key is we just talk about it. And if we feel like it's the best thing, I mean, we had exit interviews of the players met with the position coaches and the coordinators. And for a lot of them, it's just like, Coach, we're just looking for other opportunities and more opportunities to be on the field. I mean, I think a lot of times you can see the writing on the wall by what happens in spring ball and where the majority of the reps and the ball and who's going to be getting it. And I think that's been key for a lot of these guys. I don't hide from it. If they want to get on the portal, then so be it. I mean, that's the game. I just know that sometimes when people think the grass is greener on the other side, it usually doesn't mean that. It doesn't work that way. But I want to be able to help them come to what they want. And if this is what they want, and this is truly the reasons why they're going is for this and that. And I mean, I want to know the reasons why they're leaving. They don't have to explain to me why they're leaving, but it'd be good for me to know. But if they feel like they have a better opportunity somewhere else, then go do it. You know, that's like I said, I want to coach the guys that want to be here.
Well, Coach, I mean, this is a total compliment. You are one of the easier guys to talk to in your profession. I don't know, at least for us, I don't know if that comes across, but is that a vibe you try to send out of like, listen, I'm your coach. Like, we have rules, we have discipline. I'm a tough guy, but I don't ever want you to feel like, you know, there's something you can't say if you need to say it.
No, I mean, I'm open to feedback myself too. Like I want to know how I can do a better job and what I can do to improve. And so I don't have a problem with being upfront with people and being direct. And I would want them to do the same. I know one thing I'm not good at, and that's guessing on how you're feeling and what you're thinking. If I were a mentalist, I would be doing something else.
Yeah,
but I'm not. So I'm pretty simple. If you want something and if you're frustrated with something, I want to know about it. And if you're willing to talk to me about it, then we can come to a conclusion on what's best for all parties. But I think it's important for me to give an opportunity for young men to just hear them out and what they're thinking. And I think a lot of times, I mean, feedback is a gift. It definitely is. But I'm open for that as well. And so where does it show that you have to be really mean to kids to get your way? I believe in Christ as our Savior, and I'm trying to follow His example. I think you do that by being sincere and trying to understand where they're coming from. That's why I played the game, so I'm trying to understand where they're coming from their point of view. The difference is I didn't have NIL, I didn't have transfer portal, I didn't have all these things that are there, but I'm trying to see it from their eyes and trying to understand where they're coming from. And sometimes I don't understand it, but it's a learning process for me too. I just want to make sure that they know that I care about them and that I want what's best for them.
How much better of a grip do you have on the things that you're talking about? Like when you bring up NIL and transfer portal, I know those questions get exhausting, the topics get exhausting, but like how much better of a grip do you have on things compared to when it just the door busted open and it all broke loose? And just where do you kind of find yourselves when, these topics get brought up nowadays. Where are you in your mind when it comes to the game?
Well, I felt like when NIL was when it first came out in the transfer portal, I didn't really I wasn't panicked. I was just trying to understand as much as I can, and then trying to see how this could really fit our culture and fit what we want to accomplish as a team. I mean, I think everyone saw the opportunity at gaining money and using that as a focus. I wanted to focus on other things first. Although it's good for these young men to get money, I wanted to focus on education still, for their opportunities to learn and to learn how money could really be beneficial for them in the future. And that right now, the purchases that they want to make aren't the wisest, and they need to think about themselves when they're older, when they're in their 40s and they have a family. I want them to think. I mean, imagine if we could have started a retirement fund at 18, guys. I mean, that's a huge benefit for these young men. But the education on how finances work, I want them to understand that part. And we have a lot of people that understand finance, and they understand budgets, and they can talk to them about taxes, because these guys don't even know about that. So it's just opening them to a whole new world of different things. And that's what money does. Now you have to be responsible. And so we're trying to teach some responsibility with finances and with money, and how to use it, and then how to actually help you in the future. That the instant gratification of spending right now maybe not be the wisest thing. And a lot of that is creating a budget that is within their means. But I mean, I don't know if you need the second console of a video game. Maybe one is enough. And if they want to buy another one, then that's up to them. But I would want to hear why they want to buy another one, because maybe they're not watching a film. Maybe they need to, focus on academics. And so, but I think that's something that you can work with them together on. And if young men don't want to do that with us, then I don't know if there's a program for them. I want guys that understand that we care about their future, not just about the here and now.
Get into some of the X's and O's in a minute, the draft this week, but you were recently named to the board of trustees with the AFCA. That is located here, like a mile from our studio, with Craig Bull, now the one that runs it, who had a great career as a head coach. What is that an honor for you? And also, are people listening to what the coaches have to say? Because the presidents, commissioners, and AD seem to be the ones making most of the decisions.
Yeah, I think first of all, it's a huge honor for me to join a wonderful group led by Craig Bull. And I mean, there's amazing coaches in that group already. I'm just honored that they thought that I could be, I belong, and that I could bring something to the table. The key for me was just making sure that the coaches are heard. In our profession, our job is to care about the student athlete first. And I know we all get paid to win games and do those things, but when you talk to coaches, we got into this business because we care about young people, specifically about young men that play football. And so we're looking at the opportunities of them as people in the community after they're graduated, and what they can accomplish, not just as a professional athlete, but what are they going to do when they move on and they have a family. And so talking to the coaches makes a lot of sense to me. Coaches, I mean, I know we act like we have all the answers, but we do, and we kind of understand how this works. And a lot of us have been players before. So I think it'd be really, really beneficial for the NCAA to listen to what coaches have to say. And because I can tell you, we've had conversations in meetings as coaches about the worries and the pitfalls that could happen. And all of that has come true in the last few years on the things that people are dealing with right now. And so, I think we're getting a better handle of it, but it was difficult once you open Pandora's box. It's really hard to just throw it back in there. But I know the coaches are committed to making it work and making it better. And I'm happy to be part of a group that is focused on making sure the student athletes are getting what's best for them, not what they want.
I think there are a lot of student athletes that do want what's best for them. I think that we focus in on the guys who are like, just, keep putting zeros on the end of that check. That's what we kind of focus in on. But the most of them just want to have, okay, what's the best way I can make some NIL money and make some money that's good for me, and have the experience that I need that's going to make me a better athlete and student altogether. What do you hear from players about how they would like this to be simpler for them?
Well, I think the biggest issue is the rules and regulations, and then what truly is and NIL. I know that we're going into a world now with revenue share, which is allowing everybody to have the opportunity to get paid. And I'm excited that student athletes get to get paid. I'm not one of these guys that, because I didn't have it, you can't have it. I mean, that's technology, and that's growth and progress. And so we're in a really good spot. Again, our focus and getting into this in college and even in high school is education. So if we're about the institution of education, then we should be educating them now on finances and now on money and understanding the game of NIL and making it. I mean, it's name, image, and likeness. And so, are we really paying them off their name, image, and likeness, or is it a pay-for-play model? So maybe if something is labeled a certain way, maybe it should mean that. And so I think that's the one thing is doing things like that and making sure that we're focused on education. And education comes in a lot of different ways. It's not just in the classroom. We have to educate them on life. I mean, the concept of taxes, a lot of the players never even understood before. And now they're saving receipts and they're trying to figure out ways to get tax breaks off their 1099. And that's our responsibility if they're going to be playing for you, to make sure that they're in a good position.
And your quarterback had one of those great traditional NIL deals that got a lot of play, the past few months with the Manischewitz, the deal there, which was pretty cool to see that. I have a twofold BYU basketball question, because I know last week you were on the Cruising with the Cougs, and Jimmer Fredette was on there, and today he just announced his retirement from basketball. Meanwhile, the current Cougs, I mean, what a run that was in March Madness, Coach. So how much juice do you feel carry over and just throughout the brand when they're doing what they're doing and marching to the Sweet 16? And any Jimmer Fredette anecdotes or thoughts on him calling it a career and one of the all-time great BYU Cougars?
First of all, I love Jimmer. I mean, he's so fun to watch, and I know he does some amazing things on the basketball court, but the human, the person, amazing. I love the father that he is and the husband that he is, and spending a lot of time with him. It's been really cool. And it's not a bad thing that people want to take pictures with Jimmer over me. I'm okay with that. But the cool part about being on that cruise ship was just connecting with all the fans and just the passion that they have for our sports. And I know a lot of attention goes to football and basketball, but there's so many great coaches here and so many great student athletes, whether it's track and field, cross country, and in both men's and women's, or volleyball and men's and women's, and basketball and men's and women's. I mean, there's a lot of momentum being created, and it speaks to the leadership that we have in our program and in our university, but it also speaks to the coaches that are in those programs and the student athletes that are there. I mean, they represent BYU so well, and it's an honor for me to get to know them. I mean, and being on the cruise ship with a cheer team, the dance team, Cougars, and all these wonderful people, and it's all BYU. It was awesome. I had a really good time. I mean, I don't know if the cruise had anything to do with Jimmer announcing his retirement, but probably a little bit. It's like I thought that was kind of cool. All that food and access to that food, I don't know if it did really well for my waistline, but I had a lot of fun doing it.
Jimmer's like, I don't need to be, going around the world playing basketball anymore. I can just do this.
Get paid to host the cruise every year, among others. So we've discussed some of your football team, and you've mentioned all three phases of the game. What is your best position? Is that possible? Like asking who's your favorite child? Can you say that? Can you know that right now?
Oh man, I don't think I can pick one.
Okay, that's a good thing.
Yeah, and then I mean, I think all of them are going to do really, really well for us. I'm really excited about the people that nobody know about, the names that maybe aren't your household names, and we lost some really good leadership and some good talent that's going to go in the NFL and should get drafted this week. So but there's some up and coming guys that I think can really do some really cool things, and I'm looking forward to those guys and their opportunities. But yeah, if you were to ask me and I had to put something to it, I would say our strength and conditioning, sports science, and nutrition. But I'm not taking advantage of that. That's for the play.
Stop. Yeah. Well, that's the cruise. The draft is this week.
Cruise did me wrong.
You're going to be having some players in the draft, no question about it. How much of that is always as much of a commercial and promotion of your program as most anything else?
Well, I think we have a bunch of guys still currently on the roster that with tons of talent that will be future NFL guys. The guys that are going out now, I feel like there's going to be a lot of guys that are going to be in, in camp and they're going to make teams. I'm so proud of them and they're what they did here in academics, and I'm just looking forward to seeing where they go. I mean, this is kind of exciting for me where I know guys. I mean, we're around graduation time too, so I know guys that have come through and they set out to graduate from BYU and have an opportunity to play in the next level, and their dreams are coming true right now. And regardless if they're successful in the NFL or not, the NFL needs them. First of all, they need more BYU guys, so I'm hoping we can get that done. And then, I'm more excited about what they do in the communities and how they help people and their commitment to serve others. And that I know that whether they're in the NFL or they're doing something else professionally, they'll be committed to helping people and to making the world a better place. And it's my honor to be their coach.
I have one quick question for you. The last time we saw you in person was at Media Days, and you told us the wonderful wrestling story. Look, John Cena's on his way out. Have they called you about potentially replacing him in the lineup because you have the experience?
No, because I think wrestling would try to make me the heel, and I always want to be the good guy. I don't know if I could ever turn against the cheers. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I mean, John Cena's doing that too, and so who knows? I think the best wrestlers get it done, but those are some amazing athletes. I wish people would stop bugging it about that being fake. When they hit the ground, they jump all over the place. They're athletes altogether. So and apparently they're really good actors. So they get it done in the box office as well.
One thing to talk about the momentum Craig brought up, and also the team you had. Do you bring up? By the way, guys, we were 11-2 or what you were, but we had 4 one-score wins, and that can easily flip from year to year. Is that even something that you recognize or they do?
No, regardless of the result of the game, I want our guys to learn and get better. So even with the season, I believe in praising the things that we've done well, but I want to make sure we're at our best. And I don't know if we were at our best every week this last year. That's my job as a head coach. So I want to make sure and get them at their best and make sure that we're playing at our best, because when we do, we can live with whatever the result will be. I don't want them to have any regrets of what we could have done better. There's some things that you can't control in the game of football, but the stuff that we control, if we can take care of all those things, I think we'll put ourselves in a much better position for success. And but I'm proud of the guys no matter what. All I know is it's going to take work. I can praise the work and the energy that goes into the work and the preparation. What I can't worry about is if the result's going to work in our favor, because that's just another opportunity for us to learn. When we win or lose a game, I want to make sure we learn from those moments and that the result doesn't stop the progress in us learning and getting better.
Thank you, man. You gave us a lot of time today. We always appreciate it, Kalani. Thanks for your time. We do consider you a great friend of the show, and have a great rest of your spring and into the summer. Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys.
Kalani Sitake, head football coach at BYU, with us on 365 Sports.